What's up, everyone? Let me get my display capture on real quick. There we go. Okay. So welcome to the live stream. This is a live stream where I am coding all of my viewers' ideas. So we had this live stream last week, so we have a lot of ideas actually still in the works that we need to get through. We've completed 4 of them. We do have a lot more to do. So I am going to go in order of when we got the ideas. So the next thing on our agenda is shop, but I also see an idea in the chat real quick by, oh dear, I'm going to not pronounce it the way it should be, but QB. And his idea was make a script that makes players who have the highest points get transferred to a different team. I assume that's something that you specifically want for your game that you're making. And that is just fine. All ideas are welcome. I'm going to now start attributing the ideas to people, because I forgot to do that before. And I assume you guys can hear me. Let's see. He said, or they said, players who have highest. Hello, Clipper. How's it going? Saw you in the group. Perfect. Thanks, Alice. Players who have the highest points can get transferred to another team. Okay, save that. We have our list here. Wait just a little bit more for people to join in if they want to. I do have some announcements for the channel. So if you've been looking at my channel lately, there's been a lot of changes to it. So let me bring up my channel actually. So new channel art. I even had a community post asking if you guys wanted it. Sorry for the one person that said change it back. You keep it kind of one there. We have memberships now. I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself. The channel's really small, but there are memberships. And again, I'm going to stress this even more. I know I'm ahead of myself, but there is merch, I guess. But we're not going to talk about that too much. That was just kind of experimenting with the channel. Yeah, so more live streams to come, more videos. I even have a Roblox group in the description of the live stream if you guys want to join that at all. It even has some Roblox shirts in there for like 10 Robux, I think. Not that much at all. If you want to support even just a tiny bit, you can get one of these shirts from the group. But again, that was just stuff that I made just in case anyone wants to. No pressure at all. Ooh, Clipper. Yeah, it was a lot of changes, wasn't it, Alice? Okay, I think that's enough waiting time and that was enough intro to the stream. I'm going to start with the to-do list. I don't think we did not get any more ideas. So let's get started into, yeah, hello, what's up, Waleed? Yeah, I know that they would probably steal the shirt template for 5 Robux. I just thought that, if they did, then they did. I don't know. And if people want to get it, they should. I don't know. I'll think about changing it to 5. I was just thinking that it would literally be nothing. But anyway, so we're making a shop right now. And I guess I forgot to put that into. I did have a text that went on screen about what we're working on. Currently working on shop. And that's going to go to the top here. Okay. Put it at the bottom or something. I don't know. That works. Full screen this. So we have, yeah, just shop with items in it. So first we might want to just make the physical shop. Let's get a part here. And I mean, I'm going to make a very basic looking shop. It's not, I don't think this part of the tutorial is really for building. It's more of the coding part. So just needing to make the physical shop is all that matters here. Just make like, I'll even put a avatar into the shop to make it look like we're talking to someone, actually buying from someone. That would be under avatar rig builder. Yeah. Rig, and we'll just put him behind like it's his shop. Very basic 2012 shop. These are what the shops kind of used to look like when I first started playing Roblox. Just basic. Whoa, why is this not? Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's not cool. See, I'm not a builder on Roblox, and you can really tell, but why is this not resizing correctly? Why are these on different... You know what? Delete these. This is all that matters. There. Oh, how? Are these sized wrong? Oh, I bet they're sized wrong. Okay. We're just restarting with that block again. And second time's a charm, I guess, in this case. There we go. Okay. Let's make, so we want the shop to appear on screen when you get close to the shop, right? So you kind of need a sensor that's invisible, usually. We would make it just a block that looks for the touch function. There is a way to make it look when a person walks into the block and outside of the block. That coding is a little bit more advanced. Maybe a little bit too advanced for just one part of a stream. So what I'm going to do is it gets enabled when it walks or touches this block, but to close the shop, you're going to have to physically press the close button. Anyway, I'm going to make this part transparent. And this is going to be our sensor. We're going to name it that, actually, sensor. And this is what's going to pop up the shop. So what we want, there's different ways we could do this. We could add the script within the shop itself, or you could keep it in server script service and have like a shop script within there. I would recommend the server script service method, just because then you know where all your scripts are and you're not like, okay, how is this working? And you don't realize there's a script within the shop itself. So that's what I'm going to do, but you can also put it inside the store if you want. Excuse me. So within server script service, we're going to insert a script. And we're just going to call this shop script. When are you going to play Roblox? I actually have another channel for playing Roblox, and I just created it, so it has no videos yet. But it is on my channel's page, this channel's page. There is a link to the other gaming channel that I'm starting. I just wanted to separate the coding and the gaming part of things. So we have our shop script. Let's make a variable for the sensor. Or maybe the sensor makes more sense. We don't need the shop at all. Shop is just visual. So the sensor, well, first, actually, let's highlight all of this. Control G to group it. And we're going to call this shop. So now we know where the sensor is for which shop. So we're going to take this, the local sensor equals workspace dot shop dot, what was it, sensor? And then we're going to do sensor, get the touched event, and we're going to connect a function to it. and that function gets passed the hit parameter, which is what it touches, and we need to make sure that's part of the player. So the character, if it was a player that touched it, the character object would be hit.parent, and the player, let's actually require or get the player service, and we're going to set that to a local variable. The player service is game get service players. Looking at the chat real quick. Hey, what's up, Russo? You're back. Okay, I don't see any more ideas. Just making sure there's no ideas in the chat real quick. So we have our character here, and we need to make sure that is actually our character because something else could have hit our shop. So what we will do is we'll set the player here and say player equals, well, actually we need to make sure there is the character, the hit.parent should exist always. It might not be our character, but hit.parent will exist. So we can set the player as player, get player from character, and we'll pass the character variable to it. And if this is our character, it will set this to the player object that it is related to. However, if this is not our character, then this will be set to nil. So all we have to do is if player then. And now this code will run only if a player touches it. So since this is a server script, we're going to have to, well, we could, and here's another thing. You know, the server script, does it really matter if a hacker like opens up the shop if he's like 50 miles away? That's a question that you needed to answer, because you could be making this script in a local script and then putting that local script into starter player scripts. The hacker could open up the shop anyway. To be honest, this should be a local script. Let's go into starter player scripts and create a local script instead. I don't know why I thought making it secure would be a good idea for a local client type of thing, like a shop. But here we are. So it's the same code, except for I'm going to get the local player and set it here in a local variable, and it's going to be called it's going to be player.local player. So we need to make sure that we know that the player we get here is our local player. If player and local and player equals local player. Now this code will only run when our local player touches the sensor of our shop. So let's do that where it actually opens up the shop now. We could, I guess we should make the shop real quick. We'll do that in the starter GUI. Make a screen GUI, call it shop. I'm not going to make a dynamic GUI that will update with new things added to the shop automatically. You'll have to manually edit this shop whenever you add new items to the game. But that's not too hard, I don't think. Or at least that's going to be my intention as I'm making this. We're going to center this real quick. Centered, and just made a little bit bigger because that is not the size we want. 0.3 and 0.2 probably. Whoa, that's not what I thought I typed in. Ooh, needs to be a little bit taller. And maybe just a tad bit wider. Looks about right, I guess. Can be a little bit taller actually. Why not make it 0.5? That looks good. That's our shop. Going to make the background not eye-killing. Add a little bluish tone to it. And let's add... I'm going to try to be as very little on the looks so then we can get done real quick with this one because it's more of the coding I'm worrying about. But what's a shop? Oh dear. What's a shop without a shop label at the top? And make it transparent. And put it to the top. Make it text scaled so then we can actually see it. And make it white with black stroke. If I remember how to do that, I think we have to insert a stroke, UI stroke object to it. Yep. Boom. Shop. Now we know what it is. And then we're going to add, I see people are talking about GUIs in the chat. It is GUI. However, what do we need? We need items. We need items in here, don't we? Let's just make the items like tools, I guess, that you can buy for your player. Like swords and weapons, guns, maybe even. We'll add a UI grid layout to our shop. Okay. Take that out, actually. I'm going to add another frame within our frame here, and this is just going to be the items. I'm going to make it just barely less size than the GUI, or than the frame, the big frame. I'm going to center this inside the frame as well. And this is just going to be the location of our items. I'm going to make this black and then make the transparency like 0.8. There we go. And now we're going to add the grid layout to this. So I know most people would want to add, what's it called? A scroll frame. Scroll frames are the most annoying thing in the world. I am not going to be your tutorial for that. I have suffered so greatly because of scroll frames and their glitchiness. So, I believe I am just going to not worry about that. Just add a couple of items here to test the script and call it good. So that's what's going to happen. I'm going to add an image button because it's probably going to be an image button we're adding to the game. I don't have any images. But other than that, I will continue. What am I looking for? I am looking for cell size within the UI grid layout that tells how big our cell is, or grid. Let's make this 0.20, 0.20. It's going to make our item look really weird for a second. All we got to do is go into our image button and insert UI aspect ratio to force it to be square. Let's just test to see how many image buttons we can add. Yeah, so this is what it will look like when there's multiple items. That's fine, I guess. Let's actually change the size of the button if I could. Actually, I can't. That sucks. I can't change the size all together. Why? Oh, duh, it's because it's in the UI grid layout. Let's change it to 0.2 again and see what that looks like. That's too small. Go right in between, I guess. I liked it before. Let's go to 0.3. That's fine. Again, not really a tutorial for the looks, but more for the coding behind it. So we got our image buttons. I'm just going to create 3 examples, I guess. This one's going to be a sword. This one's going to be a gun. And this one is going to be, well, I don't know. We'll think about that later. Something. So at this point, what I would do is I would make it clear of what the player is purchasing by changing the image and maybe putting a text below within each. I might do that just really quick, just so that I don't get confused, is add a text label at the bottom of the buttons. Let's see, yeah, do it like this. And sizing would be maybe 1 and 0.2 or something. Yeah, that's fine. And this one is our sword, so I'm going to change the text to sword, and then if we look, it has that sword label now. I'm going to add this label to all of the other image buttons that we create. Paste. And change their labels to what they are or going to be. You could also put their price there as well. So we're going to have a currency, so why not gold, I guess. So let's make this 10 gold, let's make the gun 20 gold, and let's make the something like 30 gold. I don't know, just testing. We're not going to use any of the logic on the client. The purchasing logic is all going to be on the server. Let's see the idea from Clipper R2. Evil NPCs that can kill you fall out of the sky and start chasing you, but you have a gun. Okay. That is an idea I'm going to be putting down. And that was by Clipper R2. So this is the list of things, of ideas that viewers have that we're going to be coding. So if you guys have any other ideas, just let me know in the chat. Evil NPCs that can kill you fall out of the sky. I'm typing this as quick as possible. Starts chasing you, but you have a gun. Okay, let's get back to the shop real quick. And then, yeah, we have our shop items here, and we have the price, so we know what they're going to cost. That's our shop. That's how it's going to look right now. The local script is going to be just opening and closing the shop. So it has, oh, we need a close button because we need a close button. Where's the close button going to be? Should just be at the top of the frame, I guess. Let's add a text button. Put it at the top right of the, somewhere, anywhere, I guess. Doesn't matter where it is. I'll put it like down here or something. Whoa, that's maybe a little too far. There we go. It's going to just say close. Yeah, it was fine. Make it red, I guess. Just make it look like a close button real quick. Cool. Oh, that makes me want to center it though. Whoa, I'll do that real quick. The size is fine. We can always change that later. 0.5, and then position should be 0.5. There we go, it's centered. Cool. Add a little bit of space. There we go. That's our shop. That's it. We're going to enable it so then we don't see it. It's going to stay in our starter GUI though. In our local script, when we run into the sensor of our shop, we're going to want to then enable the GUI. So we have the player, which is local player. We need player GUI, which is where all of our GUIs for a player are located within the player. And that would just be equal to local player, wait for child, player GUI. Maybe just do this. I don't know. So we are waiting for the player GUI, getting that, and then our GUI that we created should exist within this folder here, which is called shop. So local shop, which is a screen GUI, equals player GUI, wait for child, shop. Or it should be, I guess, find first child. This should be this as well. Okay, find first child instead of wait. That just probably the better idea here. And then we're going to enable the shop. By doing shop enabled equals true. Let's test this out. I forgot to anchor these parts, so always do that if they're supposed to be stationary. Let's just make sure that the shop opens real quick. Oh, wait. Yeah, it should. It should. It does. Oh, I made the sensor can collide on, so you can't really walk to the shop. The close button doesn't work yet, but that I really want to quickly fix the sensor, which I need to go into the sensor and turn off can collide. Boom, and now we can walk through that sensor. There's an invisible wall before. And we want to add to the shop close button, which I think is this. Yeah. Rename it to close. We're going to add a script within it. It's going to, within the text button, local button equals the script's parent. When the button is activated, we're going to connect a function to it. And we will just close the shop, which the shop is the, the shop is the button parent. That's our shop. So we're going to do shop enabled equals false, and that should code our close button as well. So let's go test the shop now. It opens like before, and it closes. And if you're already inside the sensor, it doesn't reopen unless you go out and in again. And I bet if we jump, it would also do the same. Yeah. So there's a little bit of a glitch with the touch function and jumping, but that's fine for our purpose. This is as advanced as we will get with the opening and closing of the shop. So let's get into the logic now of actually buying something. First, we need currency, I think. Well, first we should make the items. I'm not going to make the items in this. I'm just going to go into the toolbox and get some items for our character to get, I guess. Do I have any models myself we can use? Probably not. Not up front. So let's go get some models, or tools in this case, which, oh cool, we got a sword. I am just going to cross my fingers and hope this works without any hacking exploiting scripts within here. Do not put that into starter scripts. Let's look at the script real quick. Always make sure that the script does not include any weird stuff if you're getting a free model. And I am looking through this just really quickly. So if there is anything, I could miss it, but since it's on the front page, I believe it would be safe. Looked fine from what I could tell. So we're just going to use it. I'll delete this place if I have to. Yeah, purchasable weapons is what we are currently working on. So we have this sword, and we just need it. How we're going to get it into the shop, technically. We're actually going to have a folder within server storage, which is going to be called items. We're going to create the folder and call it items. And welcome to the stream, guys, everyone that is currently on. We are currently working on a shop right now, a viewer's idea. We're going to put this classic sword into the items here. And now, We have the item. We need the currency real quick. So let's go into server script service and quickly. This is not meant to be game ready code here for this script in particular. This is just testing out currency. So I'm going to make a really quick script that gives your player 100 currency when they first enter the game to test the shop out. And it's going to be on the leaderboard so we can see it. How are we going to do this? Game.players, player added, connect function. Get the player that's joining in, make a leader stats folder by instance.new folder. We're going to call it leader stats. So leader stats.name equals leader stats. We're going to parent it to the player. Now we're going to make the gold value, and it's going to be an instance.new int value. We're just going to set its name to gold, and then gold.value equals 100. So that, forgot an equal sign here. And then we're going to set the parent of gold to our leader stats. So that should make a very simple leader stats that just gives every player 100 gold when they first join in the game. Oh, what's up, Cole? How's it going? Cole Zeiss. So that added a really quick leader stat gold to our game. And we're going to use this as our currency to test items in the shop. Yeah, sorry about the ads in the live stream. It probably just gives you it randomly. Since I have monetization on, college students gotta live somehow, I guess. Anyway, so we have the currency. All we need to do is go and make it actually purchase the weapons and check to see if you have the right amount of gold. So how we do that, excuse me, we're going to go into our GUI. Where is that? Well, I can't. There it is. Okay. I used to like the old format of Roblox Studio. It made things simpler, I think, to know where things were. Anyway, we have our item frame. I'm going to rename this item frame. So these are named what we're wanting to purchase. So all we got to do, you could add a local script that looks for each button activating, or you could make a script that loops through all the image buttons and does it that way. I am just going to create one script since it's simpler. But if you had a lot of items, that would be a lot of scripts to add. And if you wanted to change anything, that would be terrible. But for this, we're just testing out the concept, I guess. So let's say the button is, so I'm adding a, one second. Local button equals script.parent. So we're adding a local script within each button in our starter GUI here. So this is the sword script. This is going to be a generic script that can just be inserted into any of the buttons without needing to change anything. And we're going to do button activated. We're connecting a function to when the button gets activated. And then we're going to want to tell the server that we want to purchase whatever we just clicked on. The button's name is what we're wanting to purchase. And we need actually a remote event. We're going to put that into the replicated storage over here. Insert a remote event. And we're going to call it by item. And I'm going to make the local variable for that. By item equals game.replicated storage by item, which is our remote event. I'm going to name this remote so we know it's a remote event. So when this button is activated, we want to fire the remote event. We're going to fire the server, tell it that we want to purchase something, and what we're wanting to purchase is the name of the button. So a hacker can manipulate this. He can tell the server some random thing he wants to buy. Okay, he could send anything here. A hacker could. But here's the thing: if they want to purchase it, the server, if you have the money, we're going to give it to them. Unless you have an item that shouldn't be able to be bought, then you would just code that in the server and be like, no, you can't have that. But otherwise, you can't. If you have the money, it's going to take it away from them, even if they're trying to buy something that they didn't actually click. And that's fine. That's like just clicking the right item and buying it. It doesn't matter if they hack it because it should be possible anyway. So that's all we're giving the freedom the hacker to do, is to just change the name of what they want to buy, but it doesn't change how much money they have, and it works, I guess. The hackers can't really do what they want, which is to purchase an item for a cheaper amount. So we're not passing in the cost of the item at all. Actually, there is something we gotta do, is rename this sword the same name as what we named the button. Which, what did we name it? We named it sword. So just name it sword. And I'm going to add an attribute to the sword, which is going to be cost. And it's going to be a number. And we set the cost of the sword to 10, I think. So let's do that as well on the sword object that is blocked by my activate windows. Okay, so we're firing the server. Now we need the server to receive this in order to actually purchase the item. We can do this in a new script, or we can just add it to the server script service script that we already have. I would do a new script and just call it shop script, but you can do whatever you want. We're just going to get the... what are we getting? We're getting the buy item remote. So I'm just going to copy this here and go back to the shop script and paste it. And we're just waiting for an event. That means that someone wants to buy something. So on server event, connect function. And this is going to be the item. No, this is going to be the player that wants to purchase something. And this is going to be the item that they want to buy. And so this will run now, and so we have our player. We need to make sure that the player has the right amount of money. So we're going to make a can buy. No. Let's make a function real quick, I guess. No, it's fine. Let's just make it in this function here. Let's get the gold first, or leader stats equals player dot lead find first child leader stats local gold equals leader stats and leader stats find first child gold, which is what we called our stat that we're using to purchase. And then let's let Roblox know that this is an int value. Then we're going to do the local item, purchase item is equal to game dot server storage items, and we're going to index the item that is passed from the local script here. So this should be the item that we're wanting to purchase. And now we need to make sure that the purchase item's cost is greater than or equal to how much gold they have. So if purchase item, we're making sure the purchase item exists. If purchase item and the purchase item, let's make this an instance. Get attribute cost is greater than or equal to gold.value. Then we're going to purchase the item. But first, we want to remove their gold. So gold.value equals gold.value minus cost. I should make that a variable so I don't have to write that out every time I want to index the cost. So we subtracted the cost from their gold, and now we want to give them the item. This is very important to make sure that if you take their money away, you successfully give them their item. Because if they don't get their item and their gold is gone, they will be very, very mad. So this is actually going to be the last step of the purchasing logic here. We're going to want to get their humanoid, I guess. Well, I guess their backpack. Let me press the play button real quick. The backpack is within the player, right? Not the character. Yeah, okay, we're just going to add it to the backpack. That's simpler. So let's get their backpack. We have the player. So local backpack equals player find first child backpack. Was it 1 or 2? I can't. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to press the play button again and look to make sure I get the capitalization correct. Players, Super Speedy 101. Okay, the P is... Backpack just sounds like 2 words. So, yeah, backpack. There we go. So then, if backpack, then... actually, I should have added that to the above. So, if backpack... And... Oh, goodness, I deleted that. If backpack and purchase item. So we're making sure that the backpack exists, and if it does, then we're good. And the item exists, then we're all good. We don't need this. And we can just add the item and then subtract the gold right from here. So we have the item, purchase item. Oh. Yeah, so this is an instance. So what we will want to do is clone that item real quick. And to do that, we're going to do, we're just going to call this player item now and do purchase item clone. And then player item dot parent equals backpack. And that should send it to the backpack and then subtract the cost once that is complete. And since we're checking for the backpack and that their gold is the correct value on the server, without any influence from the client, there should be no hackers being able to buy things they shouldn't be able to. We have the sword, and what we'll want to do is make items real quick for the other 2 things we had. So one of them was a gun. So let's just look up a gun. Goodness, there's no good way to make sure that the gun is safe to use. But, you know, that's where we're at right now. I don't have a gun to just use. Whatever. I'll just make sure that it has good reviews on it. This one looks fine. Okay, it has scripts, put tool. No, we're not adding it to the starter pack. Oh goodness, there's a lot of scripts here. Whatever, that's fine. I'm just going to add it to the game. And it's just going to be called gun. And the last thing was a random something. I just didn't have an idea. So let's look at the front light. Boom. Flash tool light. Cool. Or flashlight tool. Goodness. Words are hard. Put this tool. Nope. We're not wanting to put it again into the starter pack. We're just going to add that to our items. And let's just call it something so it works with our script, because that's what we're looking for within the shop here. Now, I am unsure if... I feel like we have everything completed. I think this should work if we were just to... Oh, I guess I forgot to add these, the buy script to all of them. To all of the buttons. So let's just copy that script here and then paste it into the other 2 buttons. Call it the buy item script, and that should work. And let's test out everything. So we have our items here. We have sword, gun, something, 100 gold to spend, so we should be able to buy everything. Let's buy the sword. Oh dear. That didn't work. Why? It's definitely not. Okay, so now we're getting something actually from down here. It's probably working, but like one of the if statements isn't getting through. So compare number to nil. Cost is nil, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, we're not getting the attribute. Oh, that makes sense for the other items that I forgot to set the cost to, and that's why when I was clicking sword, it wasn't making an error, was because it does have the cost attribute on the item itself. So if we go to the sword in the items, we have the cost, if you could see it, because my activate Windows is so annoying. Did you guys know that you could build a computer and not activate Windows and it would still work? Anyway. The sword is 10, so the gun we said 20. Goodness sakes, I forgot to do all this. 20. Oh, this is the cost. Cost 20. And then something is just going to be 30. Cost 30. So that should fix those errors. However, there was still a problem with the purchase script. Where is it? I don't think this if statement was working, but let's make sure. Buy request, and we're just going to put these values here to see which one's not returning true by doing this. Or wait, yeah, they're all ands, so just we're printing out the true or false here. So, or even just the object itself. So if it's nil, it would be equal to false. And if it's not nil, then it would be true, unless the value itself was false. That should do the debugging part of this code. Let's go test it out once more. I know it won't work. But, ooh, I like that idea, Alice. Making a script that lets us actually talk to the shopkeeper. That's a good idea. I'll add that. We click on the sword. It does want to buy it, but it says the backpack sword, the last value is false. Did I do something wrong with the gold? Cost is greater than... Oh, dear. Did you guys notice this when I did this? I did this wrong. I said you could only buy it when your gold was less than the cost. Goodness. It should be when it is greater, or when your gold value. Why did I do it in this order? I should do if gold value, gold.value is greater than or equal to the cost. That makes a little bit more sense. I'm going to add that idea that was just listed into our idea list. Alice. What was it? It was script to talk to shopkeeper. Yeah, who could make a dialogue tree there. It's a good idea. So our shop script now should work. So let's test it. Let's test a shop script, or shop in general. So we got our really basic shop. We want a sword. Boom. And we got a sword, and our gold went down by 10. We want a gun. Yes, we get the gun. The gold is down 20, and now we'll get our flashlight, and it's just named something, and it went down. However, here's the thing with this is that you can buy multiple of the same item. I guess in games that makes sense that you should be able to do that, but some games I know once you buy something, you can't have multiple of them because it would make no sense. Like shooting survival games, you know, wave survivals. Sometimes the shops, you buy something, it never breaks. You don't need two, so they just make it so you can't buy it again. you just have to add a check to make sure that they don't have it in their backpack or in their save data, I guess, that they have it. And if we want to close it, we can close it, and we have our items, and hopefully there's no bad scripts within. Oh goodness, this is well scripted for a free model. Cool. Never used to have those type of things before when I first started playing, like free models that were scripted that well. So that is the shop. That's as far as I'm going to go with this. We're going to stop it here and publish the game real quick. So then I'll add a link to the game where you can edit it in the description of the video after I'm finished. So let's publish to Roblox, call this shop, turn off team create, and create it real quick. So I will allow you guys to edit that after the stream. The next idea on the list to do. Let's move this to completed. Nice. 5 things complete. Next thing is crouch system. Hoo. Gotta love those crouch systems in those horror games and shooters. So let's create a new, excuse me, a new workspace real quick. But first I'm going to look at the chat real quick. I don't think I missed any ideas. Yeah, thanks Unthinkable. Pretty cool how you already made your own merch. Yeah, I know I made that really early in the lifespan of this channel's life, but it's there. Oh, yeah, Vortex. Doing other people's ideas or looking at other people's ideas is a great way to learn Lua in Roblox. A lot of times I go to the developer forum a lot and look at people's scripts that they make within, there's like a resource or a place where people can just showcase their scripts that they made and what it does in game. It has taught me so much just looking at their scripts. Like I've started to inherit patterns from other developers. Not steal their ideas at all. Like sometimes I recreate their ideas just to make sure I can do it, but I don't ever publish them because that's their ideas. But just learning from just concepts is an amazing tool that you can do. 1 second. Okay. Let's continue on. So the next thing we have to do, I'm going to change the text real quick. Sorry for that on screen. I'm currently working on crouch system. So this is going to be needing some animations. I don't have a crouch animation yet, so that will need to be created, unfortunately. But the scripting of it should actually be very, very simple. What would be more complex is if you had different states the player could be in where you couldn't crouch. Like we're going to have to make sure that they're not in the air. We're going to have to make sure that they're, yeah, I guess the only thing you need to check really for a crouch by itself is just, yeah, level leaderboard's possible. Can't make that right after, but it will be, and logic. I'll make the level logic as well. That's added to the end of the list, and I will get to it in probably a future stream, if you want to come back for that. So we're going to we're also going to make the crouch needing to activate with a button. So there's going to be some user input service things going on. So let's start. The funnest part would be to work with the script, in my opinion, but we probably just would want to make the animation first, just so that we have something to work with. The script shouldn't take that long. So I guess we should start with the thing that's the most annoying, to me at least, is the animation. We're going to create a rig build, R15 block avatar. We have our rig here. And we're just going to open the basic animation editor. I know a lot of people love using the Moon, I think, editor plugin, but I don't know how to use that, and I don't have that, so we're not going to do that. Going to call it crouch. Goodness, I actually don't know what a crouch looks like usually in a game. 1 second. Excuse me while I go look for some reference images. Okay, I got some reference images. Oh, is it too long on screen? Thank you. Yeah, don't know how that happened. Bad text, bad text. There we go. That's something. Okay. So we have our rig. I'm going to make first you're not moving crouch animation, and then we need a moving crouch animation. So the first one is just going to be knee up like this. And then we want the other leg to just kind of be backwards. So, ba-doop, ba-doop. No, not like that. Not like that. Maybe boom. No, that looks weird. Just keep it on the ground there, buddy. Maybe move this a little bit farther back and move this down. There we go. Crouching. Weird crouching, but crouching nonetheless. Let's look. I need to look at the reference image again because this is completely wrong. Okay. That's going to be something. Okay, I'm going to change this a little bit. Go back down to there. I'm going to move this like that and move this like that. There we go. That's a crouch. That's a crouch, all right. It's not that like much lower, but you know, crouch mechanics in games have never really made sense on the like actually lowering the player below where they usually stand. We're gonna move the torso down a little bit. Oh, that's way too far. 0.25 studs down, maybe. That might be too much still. Yeah, that works. That just lowers them a little bit more. And that's probably fine. What should the arms be like? The arms, you know, I'm just going to leave that up to what you do with the items you usually have in these type of games. Like if you have a gun tool or item, usually that contains the animations for the arms and the torso and the head. So you wouldn't want to edit those with the crouch animation. However, there might be a crouch animation within a horror game where you don't have items. You can animate the arms later if you want. This is just going to do this. This is fine. This is fine. So this is our crouch. It'll look better from behind, I think, but the knee kind of just looks weird within the torso. That's fine. Okay, so we have our crouch animation. We just want to duplicate this keyframe and copy, and we're just gonna, I don't know, paste it. Does it even matter how long it is? I don't think so, but let's just paste it here and set it for 0.03 frames, I guess. And it's just gonna, it doesn't let me do less than a second. Is that true? Is that true? It doesn't do less than a second. Okay, whatever. It's gonna be a second long animation then. Fine. And it's going to loop, and we're going to set the the priority to action. Action sounds about right. It's a crouch action, I guess. Rotate the body? I mean, you could, but I don't know if that's really needed here too much. I think this is fine. So I'm going to export it, or publish to Roblox, I guess. Crouch, no description, submit. And I am going to get that from the toolbox real quick. Well, actually I need to make a walking or a crouch moving animation. You know, games really make this look stupid when you're crouching and walking at the same time. So please forgive how stupid this is going to look. If I could edit, there we go. The animation. We're going to edit the same animation delete that old keyframe for a second. This keyframe will just have you go like here. How in the world did I get that to, oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how to make the legs go to the same position the other one was. So luckily we had the rotation in a way to make this pretty easy. So that should, yeah, it does switch positions, and then we're just going to want to switch back. Copy selected, and whoa, I need to paste it first into our keyframes. Whoa, look at that. He is moving. Sorry for the ads. I have it like auto ad. I'm not sure. You remember that the stream will always be, you can go back into the past and rewatch parts if you miss something. Anyway, he is really zooming. Yeah, we're going to move the keyframes out. So we're going to make this halfway through the animation. Right now, the animation's 1 second. That's still too much. So we're going to actually increase the length of the animation time to 2 seconds by changing the values over there. And let's see what this looks like when it's 2 seconds long. That looks about right. It looks stupid, but it works. That doesn't look like a crouch animation. Kind of does. He's like, his knees are bent. That's for sure. Fine. It's fine. Ignore the ugliness. If you can. So we're going to create new. Should I have made the other one a movement? I'm not sure. I'm going to make this an action 2 now, just so that it overwrites the previous one. We're going to export or publish to Roblox. Crouch walking. Submit. Oh, yeah, it's supposed to loop. It's supposed to loop, right? Yeah. Yeah, if I put the body closer to the floor, it would probably help, wouldn't it? If I did like this, that would probably help, wouldn't it? And if I just set it to all the different keyframes, because now he's gonna, yeah. I think that works, so I'm actually going to republish that. Can I not? Discard. Huh. Guess I can't publish the same thing. I'm going to call this crouch walking 2. And we're going to submit that. So now they're in my toolbox. We will now go and actually code the crouching logic. So here's a little life lesson for y'all. This is easily hackable. This concept is easily hackable. You can't stop it. You can't do anything about it. If you make a local script, it can be hacked. And if it's regarding player movement, it will always be a local script, which means it can always be hacked. However, here's the thing. Even if you didn't, there's no way to stop players from flying, teleporting, since Roblox allows your local client to control the physics of your own character. It makes lag almost unnoticeable to the player, for their own lag at least. But what it does is it allows them to hack. You can have, protections against that, but, nothing actually will ever stop them forever. So I don't want anyone to be like, oh, you're making this on a client or a local script. It's easily hackable. Yeah, yes, it is. It's just better. You just kind of give up at one point with the hackers, you know? And like hacking a crouch script, who cares? If they don't want to crouch, don't let them crouch. They can add their own animations, even without your scripts anyway. Hey, what's up, Bless? You're Queen? Hey, welcome to the live stream, Queen. Yeah, Vortex, you can use this in your game. No, you don't have to reference me at all if you don't want to. This is pure for the public. So we're going to close out the animation tab because that was in the way. And this is going to be like the logic is all going to be in this starter player script, which is a local script. We're going to call this crouch. The first things we're going to want to pull into local variables is the user input service. User input service. This is going to get when we, this is going to have an event where we can see when a button is pressed on the keyboard or on a gamepad. I'm not really good with gamepad functionality, so hopefully you guys know. I'm just going to make this for a computer with a keyboard and maybe mobile. I don't know. No, just keyboard right now. Get service. User input service. User input service has a event called input begin, and we're just going to connect a function to it. So this is when an input starts. So this would be on the key down, but if they release a key, it wouldn't fire this event here. So we're going to have to need both. We're going to actually do that right now. Copy and paste that, but replace input began with input ended. And that's when we're going to end the crouch. And let's do the logic of if the... Let me repeat myself there. This function will get the parameter input, which is an input object. An input object has a parameter called a key code, I think. So we're going to do an if input dot keycode equals enum dot keycode dot whatever key you want to have the crouch be. For us, that will be shift. No, control. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Where's control? What is control? Can we do control? Is that a thing? We got all the keys except for control. Never done control before, so I wouldn't know. Huh. There's so many keys it can be. Is control not a possible one to do? Maybe not. Anyway. What is control usually anyway? Z. C or Z, that's a good idea. The C option is better for the hand. So let's just do C. If the key code is C, then crouch. And we're going to do this over here as well. And add that parameter to that. Anyway, we have our input, which is C. We're just wanting to crouch here. Crouch. We're going to want a parameter, or not a parameter, a local variable that tells us if we're crouching or, well, do we? Huh. Now I'm trying to think. This might work without that. We're going to want the animations, I guess. And we're going to want to load them as well before we do anything here. Let's get the animation objects. We're just going to want 2. So that we got from this rig here. Within the crouch local script, we're going to insert some locals, some animation objects, which is the top option. Cool. Duplicate that so we have 2. And, excuse me, sorry about that. We're going to call this crouch. We're going to call this crouch walking. Let's go into our toolbox here. We want my inventory and we want my animations. So here's our crouch and crouch walking. We're just going to right click and copy the asset ID of the crouch and paste it into the animation ID of the animation object, and do the same with the crouch walking. We're just going to paste those numbers we get into the animation ID, and it should automatically create the link within the ID. Yeah, we could name the crouch to crouch idle. That makes more sense, doesn't it? Good idea, Walid. Wow, sorry if I butcher that name. I'm so sorry. Anyway, so we got our two crouches. So let's make those variables up here. Crouch idle. And crouch walking. We're going to want this to be crouch walking. Cool. So we've got the objects, but it's not loaded into our humanoid. They're not playable yet. So we're going to need our humanoid. How will we do that? So we... you know, the easiest way is to just load them when they're ran for the first time. But that would be annoying, wouldn't it? That's the easiest option, though. That is the easiest option. I'm sorry, guys. We're going to do that. Local character. No. Local player. That's what I wanted. Equals game.players local player. So we got our player. So now we're going to get the character. We should only do this if we're here. Badoop. So I'm just going to delete this. We know what this does. Crouch is here. Oh, that's not how you spell crouch, is it? Okay, I just renamed the variables up here. So what we want to do is get the character and the local humanoid. We actually want the animator object within the character. Within the humanoid, actually. Excuse me. So what we're going to do is first get the humanoid. That's always the first step. So character and character, find first child of class humanoid. And then local animator equals humanoid and humanoid wait for child animator. And this is going to be an animator object. So basically what we're doing with these and statements here is we're checking to see if it found something, and if it did, then we want this variable to be set to this value. If this doesn't find it, this value will be false, or whatever. Maybe in this case nil, or whatever character is. I think it's character, or I don't know. It would be false or nil. Probably false, but I don't know. Anyway. Yo, what's up, Zenmain? How's it going? Make it when the player goes backwards, they blow up. That's an idea, and that's an idea I will add. If player walks backward, player explodes. Whoa, that's not how you write explodes. And that was by Crafter. I'm doing pretty good, Zen. I'm just trying to create crouch logic right now for our player. Let's see. Yeah, I do have a long to-do list. We've got ideas, and every week we're going to get working on them. I'm also going to be probably adding more days where I stream, but this is where we're at right now. One a week. So we have our animator. So we're going to want to load the animations real quick. So we have the animations up here. This one will be for our crouch. and crouch walking. Oh dear, I just realized that the crouch walking is going to be the hard part, isn't it? Okay, how about this? We're going to add a variable real quick, and it's going to be called is crouching. And it's going to be first false, but then when we do this, when we press C, it's going to be true. And if we do it over here, it's going to be false because we're letting go of the C button. This is going to help us with the crouch walking animation. But for right now, we're only working with the crouch idle animation. So we're going to load the crouch idle. And we're going to get the track for it, the animation track, which is what we get from load animation. And we're going to play it. So then that would play the animation, but since it's looped, we're going to want to end it as well down here. We don't have the animation track now, do we? Ooh, okay. What should we do about that? We should, sorry. We have the animation track here. We get it by loading the animation. Why don't we just load it again? No, that would be stupid. Oh, perfect. Just make a global. Let's make a global. We're going to call this crouch track, idle track. It's going to be equal to nil. And instead of doing animation track here, we're going to just set it to crouch idle track. And so now we can just do crouch idle track here and stop it. Boom. Testing, or yeah, that worked. A crouch script would be yeah, as I might have been a little off with how easy this crouch script would be, but I think it's, yeah, it's a little bit more advanced, isn't it, than I thought it would be. I forgot about animations. Animations kind of suck. So we have our crouch stop. We stop it. Let's test it. Let's see what it does. I always love just without even making sure anything's wrong, just going for it, just testing it out. So we set it to C. Why am I flying? I made a mistake. But anyway. Look at that. Look at that. He crouches, just flies when he does it. I'm going to need to fix that real quick within the animation. But it works. Isn't that cool? One thing is you can do this still. Like, that might be a problem. You can jump while crouched, but... So let's go fix that real quick. We're going to go into our rig that we had before, open up the animation editor. Put that at the bottom. Oh, wasn't this cool? We still have the other one. We're going to load... we're going to import an animation from Roblox. We're going to get the crouch, submit. And here is our crouch animation. I did it for the crouch walking, but I didn't do it for the crouch itself. He's flying. Forgot about that. We're going to publish this. Oh, okay, so you can overwrite an existing asset by clicking the button in the bottom left corner I didn't see before. And we're just going to select our crouch and resubmit that one. So now I don't have to change anything with the code because the animation that we're already using should be changed. Okay. Let's see. Let's press the C button. Look at that. That looks like a crouch. You know, it doesn't crouch that much. You could try to make it a little bit more. But I'm pressing the C button and he is crouching. Look, look at what he looks like when he's walking and crouching. That's actually hilarious. Why is my foot like that, guys? Why? What is wrong with my foot? Why is it doing that? Anyway, that's what the crouch looks like when we're running right now. We're going to change that. We're actually going to want to change the walk speed of the humanoid too. So you don't want to run as fast when you're crouching. Hey, Waleed. Hopefully the chat will read. Yeah, I know I didn't animate it separately, the foot, but why is it like crazy? Like I thought it would be like still, but my feet are. Are they really unattached like that to the character usually? Like that's insane. Like they just look like a joint that's just completely loose. I thought that they would not do that. Anyway, that's fine though. Let's go add some of that logic I was talking about from before with making it so that that they will go slower. So we actually get the humanoid right here, don't we? Woohoo! Look at that, look at that. You can just do humanoid.walk speed equals whatever we want. 4, no, 6, maybe 8, 6. 6 sounds good. We're going to want to set it back though, and that's going to suck. So all we gotta do is make another global. I love making globals, though it does lead to a lot of issues sometimes. In this case, since it's a local script, globals are your friend. Humanoid equals nil, and then we're just gonna set the humanoid variable instead of creating a new one inside the event. So then we can just do humanoid.walk speed equals back to 16. So that should fix the speed. Now, what we want is the animation of the walking and the crouch walking animation to activate when the player is moving. That might be a little bit harder. I'm trying to think of a way to do this because we only want it to run when the player's actually walking. How do we get their walking? They have a movement within the humanoid. Okay. So I'm going to make Roblox know that this is a humanoid object when it exists. Cool. I think what I'm going to do is I need run service. So I'm going to put that at the top here. Run service. And then, so run service, we have run service. We're going to put at the bottom here, run service dot render stepped. No, that's not. Yes, render step, because this is only a visual aspect of the game. So it doesn't matter if it doesn't start right away because we're not doing anything with the animation. We just want it to visually play. We're going to connect a function that runs every frame of the game. So we're going to first want to make sure that we have the humanoid. So if the humanoid exists within our global, then we will check to see if the humanoid is walking. I think the humanoid has a moving or some sort of parameter that should tell us if they're moving or not. Move direction. I think that should be 0, 0, 0 if they're not moving, and should be not 0, 0, 0 if they are moving. So I'm going to use this parameter. Or is there a... Does the humanoid have a type? I think this is the better way to go, but there could be like a humanoid state that enum humanoid state type, and one of them would be running. But isn't there a walking? There's a running no physics. Oh, that's deprecated. Okay, so that shouldn't be used. I'm not sure. I think it is just running, isn't it? Well, I guess. I guess that would work. Let's just do this because it would be the easier way right now. We're going to see if not, or if is crouching. We can just make that one if statement. So if the humanoid is crouching and humanoid dot get state is equal to enum dot humanoid state type dot running. It's a big if statement, but we'll just call it good. How about this? Local should or can crouch walk. That's almost just as bad, isn't it? Yeah, I'm going to keep it like this. Okay, with the if statement. If all of this is true, then we're going to want to crouch walk. We have the humanoid, so we need the animator too. Guess what we're going to do? Another global. Excuse me. Nil. And we're just going to set this to animator. So now we have our animator object just as a global. And we're going to also look for this as well. If animator and humanoid, yada, 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 all these things exist, then we should crouch walk. We're going to do animator, load animation, crouch walk, crouch walking, local track equals, oh dear, we're going to need this as well, crouch walking track. Ta-da. Set this to the variable we just made, crouch walking track equals animator load animation. Yeah, that should do that. Oh, I also need to make sure that the animation is not running as well. Okay. If crouch walking track is not playing, so I'm going to add a not to this if statement, then crouch idle track, no, walking track, goodness, walking track. Excuse me. Crouch walking track should start or run or what is it, play. And if it's not, then we want it to stop. Wait, what? No. Goodness, why did I do it here? No, we don't want it to stop if it's playing. We just want it to only play if it's not already playing, and then if this outside if statement is not true, then we want the crouch track to stop. I think, let's test that out. Where did I learn the code, Ramen? I learned purely off of YouTube videos, the Lua handbook guide online, and just making games until one thing worked. It took a long time in order to get good at coding. So press the C button. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Why are you doing that? Why? What in the world is going on here? Oh, it's not stopping either. Oh no, I did something wrong. Let's see. So unless it thought I was actually running, that's a problem. It shouldn't. Crouch walking track equals crouch walking. Crouch walking track is playing. Crouch walking track play. Crouch stop. Well, isn't that weird? Let's see what's going on here. I have a different idea if this doesn't end up working, but I'm not sure why this would happen. Yeah, I did have the action. Wait, action type to action? Maybe. Let's try this again. I need to see the output real quick. Oh. Yeah, I haven't pressed anything. That's probably an issue when this is going on. Oh, that's a lot of errors. Try to index nil with stop. That's probably a problem. Probably need an else if there. Let's see. Else if crouch walking track. That should stop those errors. Excuse me, again. Okay. That stopped the errors, but it won't stop the other issues we were having. Yeah, so it looks like it is stopping the animation. And it's not stopping the animation either. Yet it should be. Right? Yeah. Weird. It's probably the way I've been loading the animations. Excuse me, again. Huh. Well, but I did it here, didn't I? Yeah. Okay, how about this? Maybe I should only create it this here. Wait. Yeah, let's try that. I have another idea if this doesn't work. Yeah, Ramen. Yeah, tried out Unity and Roblox stuff. Yeah, Scratch is a great place to start, but it is like a really weird thing to actually use for anything, you know, cool, I guess. Let's try this. Okay. That is not working. Another error popped up. Let's see what this is. Line 34. If not, oh, well, first I guess we need to make sure that crouch walking track exists. So if crouch walking track and it's not playing, then we do that. Oh, wait. Yeah, that wouldn't work then because we only create it when it exists. Okay. This is a bit harder, isn't it? Well, in my opinion, it is. Why don't we just load it when we press the button with our other animation? Test that one out, see what that does. Okay, let's try that. I don't like the... I do not like how it starts without me wanting it to. The only reason it's doing that is because it thinks it's in the running state. Not sure why it changes to the running state when I'm not running. But, you know, that's something I will fix. I will change that logic in a second. We got a question from Riker. He doesn't understand what these colons mean, I think, in the variables. All these are... It's... excuse me. This is the type checking. So let's say we remove this, okay? And it's just humanoid. And I were to do humanoid and then put a period here. Oh, well, this is a bad example, actually, because it actually knows what I'm putting in there from before. So let's make a new variable called test. And it's equal to nil right now, let's say. If I were to do test and put a period, why in the world would anything pop up from that? It's literally nil. But anyway, you see how it should return nothing. There shouldn't be anything important to pop up from the quick GUI. Type checking just tells it that, hey, this variable is supposed to be a humanoid. So please, when I do test dot, bring up all of the options that a humanoid has within the quick GUI. And it just speeds up the development process to quickly find options for objects. It has nothing to do with the actual value of the variable. All about what pops up with the quick GUI and what it thinks it is. Okay. Let's go back to here. Did I test this? Oh yeah, this doesn't, the state doesn't work. The state logic does not work. So we're going to create new logic here. Is moving is equal to humanoid and humanoid dot move direction dot magnitude is greater than 0. And we're going to replace that state logic with is moving. And let's test this. See? Okay. It didn't start walking without me wanting it to. And now if I start walking, look at that. The arms. The arms are terrible. But the legs works. And if we stand back up, we still can jump. We might want to change that. However, look at that. Look at that. Anyway, we're going to fix that jump thing. So all we got to do is within the input begin, where we put the walk speed, we're just going to do humanoid.jump power or jump height equals 0. I don't know what the typical jump height is. That might be important to know, because I don't know how high they jump. Maybe this humanoid will have it in there. Jump power. Oh, it uses jump power. 7.2. Cool. 7.2 apparently is the typical jump height. Oh, we wanted to set it to 0 though, here. And then we're going to want to set it to 7.2 when they uncrouch. So let's test that. Alvin blocks is weird, dude. If he says GUI differently, he got it wrong. No, just kidding, but that's my opinion at least. Yeah, so we try to jump. I'm hitting the space bar if you can hear it, and there's no jumping. But once we uncrouch, we can jump. So we can still crouch in the air, and that might not be wanted either. We can add another if statement just to make sure that you're on the ground, I guess. It's not that important. Why am I... Oh, ignore this script. That's just an animation script from Roblox. All you have to do is when we crouch, we just need to make sure that we're not in the air. And to do that, all you have to do is do and humanoid dot floor material does not equal to enum dot floor material or material dot air. So the humanoid has a property called floor material, and it's just set to whatever material is underneath the player. That was usually meant for if a player was on ice and they wanted to simulate the ice effect for the humanoid. They would check to see if the floor material was ice or anything else, I guess, like sand. You could have sand particles by the feet. But they also have a material type called air, and that's only if there's no floor material underneath the player, which means they're in the air. So let's test that out, and that should make it that we can't crouch in the air. And, ooh, yeah, that would be a problem. And that is weird. That wasn't having a problem before. Nil with walk speed. Line 29. Oh. What? 29 is humanoid. How about and humanoid? Just add a little if statement there. Yeah, now it's not working at all. Huh. What did I do? Oh. Well, yeah, the humanoid wouldn't be set, would it? Oh, dear. You know what? Let's just remove that. Let's remove that. That's probably a bad idea, isn't it? Bad idea. Bad idea. We all have those times. Those moments of bad ideas. Yeah, that makes sense because the humanoid would never be created. It gets looking for the humanoid, and the humanoid gets created within this function. Or not created, but found, I guess. If we were to set it above, it would work. No, that would work. Or we could just do an if here. Huh. Anyway. You know what? It's fine. They can crouch in the air if they want to. It's fine. I think that... Hey, what's up, Jersey Pop? I do remember you, Jersey Pop. How's it going? I am just going to finish it there. I think that... Let me look at it one more time, make sure it's all working again after I change those values again. And, I mean, what you would need to do is animate the arms as well. But you would also have to create your own animation objects because you can't use mine. Because when mine are private, my animations won't load for you guys. So you're going to have to put your own animations in there anyway. And you can animate the arms so it doesn't do this, whatever this is. But it does work. Does crouch, does walk. Yeah, crouching system would do again. You might, if you want to, like some horror games make it so that if you're like crouching, then the monster can't see you or something. If you're behind an object, you might want to add something where you can check to see if a player is crouching by setting an attribute. I would say, setting an attribute to the humanoid or something that's just called crouching, and it's a true or false. That's an easy thing to do, but there's no need to right now, so I'm not going to. So that was the crouching idea. So we're going to publish this game real quick. I'm going to remove these local script prints that I had before, just so that it doesn't show up on the console every second of the game. Let's publish this. Publish to Roblox as crouch system. Again, this will be linked to the description of the video once it's fully published of the live stream, and you will be able to edit the place file so you can also download it for yourself and use whatever's inside it for yourself. We're going to create that. Some people were confused on how to edit the game file. So why don't we do that real quick? Let's go to one of the places. So like on the last tutorial live stream, I made this isn't a good option actually, because I don't think I released that one as a place. I had round system? No, rock, paper, scissors. Let's look at that one. So if we go to Roblox with rock, paper, scissors, this is one that I released with the last tutorial and is editable. To you guys, you won't be able to play it because it's going to be set to private. However, if you click these three buttons here, you can click this edit button. That should pop up for you guys, and then it will open Roblox Studio and open the file, and you can download it and edit it all you want. So that's a little explanation there. So what is next on our list? Let's set this to the completed. We've got a vote system. Nice. I like vote systems. This one hopefully will be quicker than the last. Combat system from Jersey Pop was an idea. Do I have a combat system yet? Crafting system. No, we don't have a combat system. So I'd think of that as player versus player real-time combat, which is different than a turn-based battle system. So I will try to I will try to make as simple as a combat system as I can, but that will be an idea to come later, and that was from Jersey Pop. Okay. Oh wait, I see an idea, another idea. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that one. From Igor, make a game where you act as MrModuleScript, like a routine where you make tutorials. I don't think anyone would want that, but I'll put the idea down and I'll put it in the order that was actually said. Game where you act as MrModuleScript. Why are people making code that's eating children in the chat right now? Parent.eatchild in the quotation marks middle child. Oh no, don't do that. Don't run that code, guys. Don't run that code. Anyway, so the next idea is the vote system. Let's change the text on the screen. Sorry for my whole OBS popping up here. I'm currently working on vote system. Cool. That is going to be like, I would say, for like if a game needs to choose a map, usually vote systems are used to choose the map. The most votes for a map, it would, choose that map. I do like that. Usually they only give you 3 options. I'm not sure if we want to go with the idea that we're choosing a map here, but that's usually what vote systems are used for. I'm trying to think of another vote system. We could make this very generic and a very generic vote system that can be used for almost anything. We'll do that with a module script first. So let's create a new workspace. Hey, what's up, iCreate? How's it going? Welcome to the live stream. Okay. So what we're going to do is create a module script within server storage. And sorry if you hear any knocking outside. I don't know what's going on out right beside my window. But anyway, we're going to call this module script. We're going to call it voting system. And I'm going to just make it a global vote system. So you should only be, how do I put this? The server will vote as a whole, and you should really only have one vote going on at a time, I guess. So that's the way I'll think about it, is that one vote will be happening at a time. There's not going to be multiple votes going on. We should first start by creating the votes itself. I'm trying to think of a system of how this would work, and I'm just trying to fill in my sentences with words so it doesn't feel like I'm just sitting here. Here we go. How about this? The voting system will have options, and it's going to be set here. And then, yes, that is what we're going to start with. We're going to create a function within voting system. And it's going to be called start vote. And we're going to have our options in here. The options will be in the format of a key and value. The key will be the name of the option that we're voting on, and the value will be the players that have put in their vote for that option. So, yeah, certain amount of players have to vote. Okay. So if votes is, yeah, that's a good idea, Drizzy Pop. Start vote options. So first we're making the vote. It's going to have, let's just make a function real quick called function get options, I guess. just in case we would ever want the options. Oh, I need to make that inside voting system. It's going to return voting system dot options. So when we start, we're going to do voting system dot options equal options. Let's see. We might want to change this a little bit. Options is going to be, the options we get as a parameter here is actually going to be in the format of just string within a table. It's going to be a string array. And we're going to loop through the strings. For I string in I pairs options do, and we're just going to create the options here. Voting system dot options. Oh, I should call this option name actually, which is a string. Option name equals table, or an array in this case. And when we start a vote, we're going to delete the options from before. So table. No, let's just do voting system dot options equals empty array. So this creates the vote. This gets the options for the vote. And now we should make a function to vote. Voting system vote. And this will be equal, or no, we're in this function. We're going to get the player that voted. And their option that they vote for, I guess. Yes, option that they vote for, which is going to be a string. And then all we're going to do is do a local option here. Player option equals voting system dot options, and then the option that they pass as a parameter to the voting system. Then we're going to make sure that it exists as an option. If player option, then player option would be a table. We're just going to insert the player into that table here. But we need to make sure that they're not already in there. We also need to make sure that they're not in any of the other options, because we must remove them if they have already voted for something else and they want to switch their vote. So first, let's worry about that later. We're going to vote first and get the player into the vote that they chose. Oh, wow, we're getting ideas. My voice is glitching? Oh, I'm sorry. Is it actually glitching still? I swear I made it so that it wouldn't do that. Not sure why it would do that. If it's still glitching out, let me know. Can I make an NPC that has an HP bar over him? Yeah, I can do that. I can make it a little bit more advanced too. Look at all these to-dos. So if we have the player option, then we're going to want to insert the player into that option. But first we need to make sure that the player isn't already in there. So if not table.find player option player. So basically what we're doing is we're trying to find the player within the table. And if it does find it, this would return the player object. So we want to, this would only run if it doesn't find the player object, because then it will return nil, and not nil is equal to true. So this should work here. So table.insert, we're going to add the player to the vote option. player option, and we're going to just add the player to it. We're also going to do this find for the other options here. To be honest, we can just create a function called voting system. System remove vote player. And it's just going to remove their vote. I can't spell when I'm not looking at the keyboard. Let's see. What would we do for that? We're just going to loop through the options, I guess. For I option in I pairs, voting system dot options do, and then we're going to do table dot remove. No, yeah, table dot remove option. Oh dear. Okay. First, if local player vote equals option. No, table dot find option player. So this is going to find the player and return it will return the index in the array of where this player is located. Otherwise, it will return nil. So then if player vote, then table.remove option player vote. So we're just removing the player vote if it exists within all of the options. And when we vote, we're just going to call that. Because if they don't have a vote, it doesn't actually matter. It won't do anything then. And that's perfectly fine. So voting system, remove vote, player. So we're moving their vote, and then we're setting a vote. If they have a vote. We have the start vote, the get options, the remove, the vote. I think all we need to do is create a new function called get results. And this is just going to find the option that has the most results within it. So all we're going to do is we're going to loop through what we did here, loop through all the options within the voting.options, voting system.options. And we're going to create some local variables at the top of the function called most voted for option, most votes. So I'm adding two variables here. This one is going to include how many votes the most voted for option has, and this one is going to be the actual option that was most voted for. So this is going to be a number, and this is going to be the list of, no, this is going to be a string for the option that has these votes, that amount of votes. So first we're going to make sure we want to get the biggest voted for option here. We're going to return that option. So to do that, we're going to loop through all the options and read how many votes it has. So local option votes. And to do that, we're just going to see how many players are inside that option, which to do that, all we had to do is hashtag option. So option is the table that we're looking through that has our players. And by indexing it with a hashtag, we're just asking the game to return the number of things that are inside that array, which is the amount of players we have in there. So that's how many votes it has. And now we're going to do it if most voted for if not most voted for option, because it will first start as nil, so there is no most voted for option yet. We're just going to set the first one that we find in a loop to be the most voted for option. So to do that, all we're going to do is this, most votes equals option votes. You might be wondering, like, well, even it's the first one we loop through, but that doesn't mean it has the most votes. But that's why we're looping through each one, and if we find an option with more votes, then we'll just set these variables to that vote. So we're going to add an else to this if statement. So if these variables are set, then else if option votes for the current option we're on is greater than the most votes that we have so far option, then we're just going to repeat these lines here. And this will set this value to the most voted option, and this variable to how many votes that option got. And all we're going to do is return most voted for option and most votes. We might not need the most votes variable, but that is, we're just going to return both just in case. I'm looking at the chat real quick. We got an idea. Make a racetrack where you can spawn a car and race against people. I like that. That is on the idea list. Oh, I forgot to put the person who said this. Oh no, I started forgetting the, I bet I can look. Sorry, 1 second. I'm looking at the chat real quick. Sorry, I'll find that later. So we're returning most voted for option, most votes for our voting system. All we got to do now is, that's the logic. Now we just need to create the actual voting system, like how the players will actually do the vote. Why not just make it a physical voting system? Because some games does it on the GUI. Some games do it physically within the game. Well, maybe it would be better just to do a GUI. I don't know. Actually, it's simpler to do it physical, so I'm going to do it that way. Let's say the game chooses 3 different maps you can choose from. And to do that, we're just going to create the voting system place here. You want a GUI clipper? The GUI is a little bit harder because then we have to do the logic for showing the GUI to everyone and then removing the GUI for everyone and doing the client to server remote events, I guess. Oh, I got it. I don't know. Let's just do it physical right now. So we're going to do a physical voting system where the player has to like step on the option that they want. Shoot, I'm just thinking how we would do this. Because, as always, I think this is going to be really easy, and then it gets way harder when it actually comes to creating it. Because what we would want to do is show the players how many people have voted for each option. So let's make a little vote counter. It doesn't have to be anything special. You can always change how it looks later. But this will be kind of the counter, I guess, for each option here. Let's make this purple because for some reason purple is well known to be what you step on for, I don't know, touched events, I guess, of these parts. Let's see. So we're going to want to group each one of these individually, and they're going to be called option 1, option 2, option 3 type of thing. Option 1, option 2, option 3, and the purple parts are going to be called sensors. So should have done that before. Sensor, and sensor. And we're just going to group all of them together into the vote system. Let's anchor them real quick. So basically my idea I stream usually Saturdays, starting at 9 a.m. every day, or every Saturday, but more streams will be coming. Jersey Bob, can I make a Valorant ripoff? Probably not. Don't think I'm that good. Is this going to be a video? Yes, this will become a video that will be published probably right after the stream is done. We are going to want to add some text labels to our counters. That is going to just show how many votes a particular option has. Don't get too fed up with looks of it, because we can always change that later. This is going to require a surface GUI. It's not important to have it in the player GUI. We can actually just set it here and do a text label. First, though, we need to make sure where is it? Oh, it's down there. Look at that. We want that to be showing on probably the back. Nope. How about right? Nope. Left. No. Huh. Top. There we go. It's rotated wrong, though. Great. I'm going to have to rotate all of them. Rotate the part. There we go. Now it's upright. And we're just going to make the surface GUI cover the whole block. Make text really big. And it's going to be set automatically to 0 for the text. Votes. And we're going to call it votes. And we're going to copy and paste that into the other, well, the surface GUI. We're going to copy vote GUI. We're going to copy and paste the vote GUI that we just created into the different parts. And paste in selected. Now they all have 0 votes. We're not going to make this like real world use case right now. Like usually you would be voting for a map. I'm not going to create the logic for the map spawning and even the options. However, I'm going to test out to make sure that the voting system does indeed work if you use our module script as intended. Hey, what's up, fraud? Welcome back. So let's test this out. Well, we can't because I haven't done the coding part of it yet, I guess. Let's do the server script service. Let's add a script, and we're just going to call it voting system testing, voting testing, because this isn't how you would set it up if you actually wanted to use it in your game, but we're just testing out the system. Local voting system. We're going to require our system that we created, which is in the server scripts service or server storage voting system. And now we're going to make sure that we're going to activate these sensors. So local voting, we're just going to set this to workspace.vote here. Local options equals voting. No, voting. Yeah, just voting. Get children. We're going to loop through the options for I option in I pairs options do. So this is our option. The option is going to be set to this model. And we're going to want to get the sensor option dot part, no, dot sensor. How about find first child? Sensor. No, it should have it, so why not just do sensor? And that is equal to a part. So we're going to typecast it to a part. Sensor.touched, connect to that event. And now we have a sensor.touched. This will run when the sensor is, well, touched. And what we want to do is actually do the voting system. So we're going to create the vote first. Voting system, start vote, and we're going to pass it the options we want. For this, let's just do option 1, option 2, option 3. How about that? And we need to make that strings, actually. Option 1, option 2, option 3. There we go. And we need to make sure we know what we touched. So, and we need to know what option that is related to. So within our votes, I am going to create an attribute called option. And you would set this attribute to what option you want it to vote for. So in this case, it's the same as the name of the model, I guess. But usually you wouldn't name them the same way. So like this option could be map 2 or map 3, whatever you want. I'm just making it option 1, option 2, option 3. Did I name that correctly before? Option 2? No, I did not. Option 1, option 2, and option 3. So, local option name is equal to option get attribute option, I guess, of the model. So we can always edit that if we needed to. And then when it's touched, we need to vote for that option. So we do voting system vote player, I guess. We're going to need to get the player. So let's just add that first. And then we need the option, which we have as option name. Whoops, let's get that player variable set. Wait. Yeah. So when it's touched, it gets the hit parameter. To get the player, all we need to do is local player equals hit dot parent game dot players get player from character hit dot parent. So this will only run if a player can be found from the hit parameter, and we'll vote. Now we do not have a way to specify how many votes, like how do I get back to the base plate? Here we go. We don't have it updating these values yet. However, the votes should be being casted now when we touch the part. So we want to make sure that it's working. So we want it to visually show how many votes are being voted for an option. So how we do this, we would probably, in our voting testing, we would just fire an update. No. Does our voting system probably doesn't have a way to get how many votes are for each option. We might want to add that. So we have get options, but we don't have get votes. So I guess all we got to do for that is make another function inside our voting system, get votes. And we would have a table or a votes table that we would create. We're going to loop through the options for I option in I pairs voting system dot options do, and then votes. We're going to set votes, whatever the vote name is. So option. No. Wait a second. I feel like I'm doing something wrong here. So when we start the vote, we set it like this. So we can't loop through options with I pairs. Has to be pairs. I feel like I did this down here somewhere. Yep. Pairs. Do I loop through anywhere else? Yes. Pairs. And this should be option name. So let's replace this I with option name as well. And replace this I with option name as well. So votes option name equals hashtag option. So basically, sorry, one second. See you later, Ramen. You leaving? Okay, let's continue. So we are getting the votes. Hashtag options. We got the votes. So we're returning now the table. And that's all we need. So vote testing, we're going to vote, and then we're going to get the votes. Get votes, or votes, I should just say, votes equals voting system, get votes. And now we're going to loop through all of the options, I guess. Maybe. Try to think. Let's create a function actually above called update vote counters. And what we're going to do there is we're going to loop through. We're going to pass the votes here. We're going to loop through for I option in I pairs. The same thing we did down here actually. Options. Do. And then the option dot we need a text, so local option vote text equals option dot part dot vote GUI dot votes. And we're going to set it. Now first we need the option name is equal to option get attribute option, right? That's what we called that attribute. Yeah. So all we got to do now is do option vote text dot value. This is a string value. Or no, this is a text label. Oh, so yeah. Option vote text dot text equals that is going to be equal to our votes option name, and that will get the number of votes. Yeah. So then it will set it to there. So now we have this update vote counters function. So all we got to do here is call it with our votes that we get. And that happens if we touch the sensor and the vote maybe changes. Let's try testing this out real quick. Cross your fingers that this works on the first time. Well, it kind of worked. Look at that. I don't know why we're getting errors here, but we are. Let's see what happens. Yeah, huh. It's not quite working. Let's see what the error is. String expected got nil. Okay. Just do that, I guess. Should it not? How did that not work? They all have option name set. Oh. I named this one wrong. Whoops. Set that to option. Let's see if that fixes the issue. I think that should be... I'm not sure what it's going to do now. Okay. A vote. A vote. A vote. Nice. So it visually looks correct that we are voting for each option here. And so for the final part of this live stream, I'm going to make it so that we can see if the voting is working. And then I think I'll end the stream here. But I will probably be starting the live stream maybe possibly tomorrow as well. Stay tuned for that. I will post about that. Let's get this finished up though. So the voting testing, we just need to like loop through, I guess, every couple seconds and see what the votes, which vote is winning. So for while true, do wait 4 seconds maybe, and then we're going to print voting system get results. Getting the results probably isn't the right name for that, is it? Get results should actually be get result. Get result. Yeah, get result. Get result. We're going to print it every 4 seconds. So we're going to make sure that this is working with the voting system here. So it's saying that, oh, yeah, so it will pass, it passes 0. It's passing a table. It's not passing, what is this printing? Right, oh, I forgot. We're passing 2 things here. So we don't want to print that. We are getting from get result option and votes for that option. And we are actually getting past a table for option. Is that how that was supposed to be? I think it was. I think that's how I coded it, but I don't think that's what I intended. I wanted to return the vote, or the option name, I guess. This. So most voted for option should equal option name rather than option. Set those values, and now let's go see what it returns actually now when there's no vote to win. It's not returning anything. Did I print that out? I don't think I did. Let's go back here. Yeah, I forgot to print option and votes. So this is doing the same thing, but I'm going to do votes, just add a little clarification of what each thing is, a little explanation of what these values are within the output that we're getting. So we're going to press play. And now in the output, we should say winning option, option 3. Votes 0. So that is a problem. We don't have it set to return nothing or have a special return type if there's no votes for our voting system. But if I were to step on here, it should start to say option 1, votes 1. And now if I step here, it should say option 2, votes 1, and so on. It doesn't do well with ties. It's always going to return the first one it finds. No, the last one it finds of a tie. So like if there's a tie between 2 and 3, it would choose 3. However, there should be something for ties are fine actually. You know, having it so that it just chooses option 3 if no one chooses is actually an okay option. You might want to randomize which one it chooses, but to be honest, the options are probably already going to be randomized in the game, so it's perfectly fine just to choose the last one always. Hey, thanks Quibi for joining the fan club. Yeah, the group is in the description. Thank you for that. So that is it for the voting system. That's as far as I'm going to get with the voting system. I'm going to publish this game, and I am going to post it into the description after this is published as a video. Voting system. Turn off team create, and you'll be able to edit it within Roblox Studio. And I think let's switch this. And yeah, that will do it for today, guys. This is where I'm going to end the stream off. Thank you all that are still here, and thank you for watching. People that watch this after the live stream is already complete. More live streams to come. I'll be doing live streams every Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time, which is, I think, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. That's probably a better way to say it. And I will be doing this every Saturday. I'm probably going to add another day to do the live streams so that I can get through this to-do list a little bit faster. Yeah, if you guys have any ideas, just let me know in the comments of the video or even just in the chat right now. If you guys want to join my group, I have it in the description. You can look there. I have multiple groups. I'm also starting a gaming channel that won't be related to coding, but it will just be gaming, just for fun. That's in the channel page as well. You can look at that. It's been fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Have fun coding. Peace. If I can find the end stream button. There we go. See ya.